sides of the same coin, rights and responsibilities in daily life. Rights and responsibilities. What comes to your mind when you hear these three seemingly simple words? Probably something like the Civil War, or maybe the establishment of our very own Constitution. But there's actually a lot more to rights and responsibilities than it may seem at first glance. This documentary will show and interview people living their ordinary lives through the context of rights and responsibilities. This documentary will also impact viewers by taking them on a historical journey to bring them to the destination where they see rights and responsibilities from a fresh perspective, integral to their own lives. But first, let's dive deeper into the great ocean of possibility in the world of rights and responsibilities in daily life. Rights and responsibilities have been going on for centuries, but when did it become actually official or legally a law? Well, it was when our own country's constitution was published. Of course, there was an older set of laws, rules, and references similar to the Constitution beforehand, but it wasn't until after the U.S. Constitution that the rights and responsibilities were taken seriously. There were many positive changes resulting from the action of rights and responsibilities in history. A few of them included equal opportunities to people from all backgrounds and equal rights for every person regardless of differences. There are many other good adjustments that were made based on these events. Here's an example of life before this establishment of various but crucial rights as well as responsibilities. Around the 1900s, women didn't have the right to vote. Then they started protests and movements. And finally, when the 19th Amendment was ratified on August 18, 1920, women were granted the legal right to vote. But then again, voting isn't only a right, but a responsibility. Because, as a citizen, you have the right to vote and have a say in who is elected, but you also have a responsibility to your country to take part in the vote. Because if no one voted, then no one would be elected in a very long time. What about crossing the street? Surely we all look both ways and obey the traffic signals before crossing. We wouldn't just cross from wherever, whenever we want. Imagining a world like that would be imagining a world without rights or responsibilities. Because you have the right to have the safety to cross, but the car drivers have the right to drive smoothly across roads without having to stop for people crossing from anywhere. But the drivers have the responsibility to follow all driving limits, rules, and stop at pedestrian crossings. And the pedestrians have the responsibility to make sure they do not jaywalk and that they cross properly at the proper place and time. And here I've interviewed some of the staff and students of Liberty Elementary School, one of the many California's National Blue Ribbon schools. What do you think about rights and responsibilities in daily life, and what part do they play?
So they help me a lot because it helps me get moving, and it really inspires me to do better at school, do good around campus and around anywhere.
I do think everybody should have rights. I mean, every person is equal and every person is valuable.
However, equality does not mean that we should become each other's clones.
People have different talents. Some people are good at stuff, some people aren't good at that thing.
What are your responsibilities of running the school?
Okay, there are a lot of responsibilities, but just very simply, my job is really that of a facilitator. So at a school, in a school community, there's so much knowledge, talent, and resources. It's really my job as a leader to facilitate all that, so all that comes together so that we can educate kids and help them grow. And it's my job to bring staff together, to bring parents and families together, to bring kids together so that we appreciate each other, we understand each other's talents and knowledge, and then we learn from each other, help each other grow. And so when I bring all that together and everybody's working together in a collaborative manner, we can do great things.
Why are rights and responsibilities in daily life important?
Well, I think the rights and responsibilities are important in daily life because it helps us be a better human and a better person, helps us get along well with others, helps us understand that we all have our roles here on earth, not just here at Liberty, but also in our community and in our state and in our country and all around the world. So if we're all good people and all are following the rules, everybody will get along just great. I really think that rules and being responsible is really important. And so having rules in place helps keep our schools safe. And that's my number one goal, is to make sure that everybody here is safe. And so I think having those rights and having those rules in place help everybody. And then responsibilities. Kids have to be responsible for their behavior and responsible for their actions.
What are your rights and responsibilities of running this classroom?
My rights and responsibilities of running this classroom are making sure that kiddos are learning what they need to learn, and then also making sure that they have good character and they're good people. And we learn those things along the way. Even from our mistakes that we make, we can learn and grow and have responsibility in having good character as we learn and grow from each other.
Thank you to the Liberty staff and student for your wonderful answers. Another great example is just going to the grocery store. You go in, take the responsibility of respecting the merchandise there, get what you need, and go to the line to pay for it, instead of just running away with your stuff. And the cashier will respond with the responsibility of charging the correct price for the total bill. And your rights as the customer is to get the items you request and to not be charged unreasonable prices. As the cashier, you have the right of receiving the full payment from the customer. Some people think that rights and responsibilities only have anything to do with historic events. But where does history actually happen? On the pages of a history book? No, it happens in a moment of daily life. Then that event makes that part of daily life historic. History isn't some other separate reality. It can happen anywhere from right in front of our eyes to a million miles away. What is usually the first thing you do as soon as you take a seat in your car? Fasten your seatbelt, right? Well, seatbelts are actually the perfect result of an event of some trial and error of rights and responsibilities of daily life. When the first cars were made, they didn't have anything protective like doors or seatbelts. So, as you can imagine, things didn't go very well. So in 1885, Edward J. Claghorn invented the regular vehicle seatbelt. The first ever seatbelt was invented by George Cayley, intended to keep pilots from falling out of gliders. But the modern 3-point seatbelt that we use today was invented in 1959 by Volvo engineers Niels Bohlin. There has been a continuous effort to reach equivalency for everyone and to assure the proper rights and responsibilities. In fact, that effort still goes on today. The American Revolution, civil rights movements, wars, all of these major historical events have all led up to the increasing importance of rights and responsibilities. The reason why rights and responsibilities are important for history is that without a simple system of these rights and responsibilities, almost none of the many historical and significant events would have been possible. The system changed history permanently by allowing people to officially have proclaimed rights. But with those rights, there also came a greater responsibility. Rights and responsibilities in daily life have provided such an impact in history and the world that even today we rely on rights and responsibilities to do absolutely everything. It has everlastingly changed history, giving us a wider perspective and drive to make sure everyone is treated equivalently. Rights and responsibilities in daily life are very crucial for our country to keep progressing. Maintaining these rights and responsibilities is what has led us this far into our future and what continues to as well. Rights and responsibilities in daily life are greater than just politics or being in midst of war. Rights and responsibilities are the cement foundations on which we have built a solid structure for our civilization. Rights and responsibilities shaped life as we know it today. Almost every single major history event has taken place on the foundation of rights and responsibilities. It takes rights and responsibilities to do everything from buying groceries to running a country. After all, rights and responsibilities are just two sides of the same coin.